number 5 at Ascot. It's Perth race number 11 for our Singapore viewers. It's over the 1200 metres and there's plenty of speed in this race. And a few of the more fancied horses are drawn quite wide, which really does open it wide open. Now, one of the horses that has plenty of speed, has been racing well and isn't drawn too badly is number 7, Ominous Warning for Keith Frost. Takahata Ikanushi keeping the ride. This horse is going for 3 in a row and we'll take a look at that last start victory now.
Often going there, got involved in a bit of a stoush with our Brucey Bonus though. Might have come off second best. Ominous Warning booted away at the 200, led 2 lengths. Festive Excess, Illusion of Light. Cuanzo getting going again with Kenza Star, but Ominous Warning is coming away from them too good. And Ominous Warning all of the way, scored by 2 lengths. Festive Excess, Illusion of Light.
Ominous Warning has certainly been in some ominous form as well, the way this galloper has been racing, just jumping so quickly out of the gate, able to settle and then kick at the top of the straight. We saw that even with the pressure that Festive Excess put on the galloper, we're just able to pull away comfortably, and I think conditions on the day will suit to Ominous Warning. Should be very hard to beat. Outside of those, Shostakovich, drawn barrier 1, has plenty of speed. If it doesn't get caught out of the gate, it'll be one that races forward as well, and I think can improve at a big price. Number 2, Terraforce. This horse hasn't won now for 1,019 days. The tongue tie goes on. Randy Tan takes the ride as well with the 56 kilos. The form lines have been reasonable. You'd expect this galloper to be there and about. Also number 3, Vonus, at second up form, 3 attempts for a victory and a third. The recent run behind Volkov was disappointing, but we know its top end form is very good. Drawn nicely in barrier 4. The 2 kilo claim to Jake Casey should help. Festive Excess was beaten 2 lengths by Ominous Warning last start in that replay that we saw. Drawn barrier 14 here as well, which doesn't help with the 58.5, but this horse has speed. If it can cross and sit outside of the leader or it gets into a nice position, does have the ability to fight on nicely and certainly looks at one of the other threats in the race. And I'm intrigued to see our number 7, Van Ripper, returns here for Justin Warwick. Lucy Warwick taking the ride, has plenty of form, but just got a little bit disappointing through last campaign. Should bounce back fresh, and again, one to watch as it steps up in distance. Let's take a look at the selections for race number 5. I'm going to tip number 6, Ominous Warning. From number 3, Vonus, I expect it to improve. Number 4, Festive Excess, and number 2, Terraforce. Race number 6, it is Perth, race number 12 for our Singapore viewers. It's over the 1200 metres and a lot of speed in this race as well, so it'll be interesting to see where all the horses are positioned up and how the speed battle plays out in front, because again, barriers will play a big part in this race. One horse that showed plenty of speed out of the gates last start was number 12, Cool Passion. Jumped quickly and then was able to pull away at the top of the straight, winning by 3.5 lengths, and we're going to take a look at that replay now.
At the top of the straight, Hinchinbeel, followed then by Ella Show. Further back in the field, Highland Jig. Cool Passion swept past Katrina Sky. It gave up meekly at the 200 as Cool Passion lengthened stride, booted away, and down the outside comes Ella Show. But if you're aboard this heavily backed commodity, dash to the tote queue and get a return. It'll cruise in it, one easily.
Really good performance there by Cool Passion and drawn nicely again in barrier 4. You'd expect this horse to jump well, either lead or get into a lovely position through the early stages, and from the way that it kicked after the corner there, I think this mare is going to be very hard to beat again. Looks one of the main chances. Outside of that, some of the more interesting runners. Number 3, Clobberetta, drawn wide, which doesn't help. Paul Harvey takes the ride here for Alana Williams. The top end form with this galloper is good enough to win this race quite comfortably as well. The barrier is the only plateau that has really pushed me away from this. It was only beaten 2 lengths by Volkov and raced fiercely as well. So form lines, as I said, this is the horse to beat, but I think the barrier is going to make it too hard to win. Number 5, Star Lightning, also been in very good form, drawn nicely in barrier 2. Clint Johnson Porter keeps the ride. So just the 55 kilos here. Last start just beaten a length by Volkov, and the start before a length by Antique Dream. Both won on Saturday, just showing how well those form lines are holding up. Barrier 2 should get a really nice run. I was really impressed with the performance of number 8, Big Caroline, last start as well. Beaten 2 lengths by Good Morning and was wide throughout that run, but still had the audacity to continue fighting on. So from barrier 6, should get a much easier trip. And as we saw from, as I mentioned, that 1200 metre race, this horse will have no issues fighting out all the way to the line. And number 9, Fireborn, really expecting to bounce back now. Barrier 3 for Paul Jordan. Ryan Hill takes a ride. Scallop has been second up on 2 occasions, finished 2nd and 3rd respectively. Last start just beaten a half length by Discord Witch, but has plenty of speed to jump, lead, settle, and then if conditions suit, be able to kick away and be very hard to chase down as well. Let's take a look at the selections for race number 6. I'm going to tip number 12, Cool Passion, from number 8, Big Caroline, number 9 at Fireborn, and number 5 Star Lightning. Race number 7 at Ascot is the final race of the day as well. It is Perth race number 13 for our Singapore viewers. It's over the 1400 metres, and again, barriers have made this race very interesting. Some of the more fancy runners are drawn well and truly wide and going to need some luck in this race. One that has drawn nicely and was the last start winner is number 2 Danefin. Was a winner with the 58 kilos. It was lucky start number 16 for this galloper. It had been knocking on the door for a long time, but finally able to break through. It took William Pike to get the job done. He keeps the ride again here, and we'll take a look at that victory now.
Husser May trying to work clear, and Clocker went back towards the inside from Cool 911. Inside the 250, Stand Up and Deliver at the moment holding special words, but Dane Finn and Pike coming through on the inside. Dane Finn is after Stand Up and Deliver. Cool 911 is getting home well as well, but it's Dane Finn responding, takes the lead from Stand Up and Deliver, and Cool 911 and Dane Finn by one.
It was a nice performance there by Dane Finn. As I said, had the credentials to win, had been knocking on the door for a while, and William Pike was able to get the job done, and it beat Stand Up and Deliver, which has won since as well, so those form lines holding up. Draw nicely in barrier 3, should get a nice run throughout and certainly be one of the main chances. Outside of that, I thought number 1 Handyman would be hard to beat as well. Beaten 2.5 lengths by Joyful Hope and didn't jump that well on that occasion. 2 kilo claim to Aaron Mitchell, who's riding well, so just the 57.5. Drawn nicely in barrier 2, and you go through its form lines up behind Hopetown, Joyful Hope, and the last time was at 1400 metres as well behind Liberty Rise. I think this galloper can certainly win the final race of the day. Priceless Rock had a bit of support last start, but drawn wide, which doesn't help. I think 0 to 60, although the track and distance record is atrocious, 18 attempts for only 3 placings. Barrier 5 with the 55.5 kilos in a weaker grade can certainly play a part, and I'm looking forward to seeing how number 9 Costa de Costa goes with the new stable for Justin Warwick, Lucy Warwick to ride. The last time we saw this galloper, it jumped and led over 1300 metres and won by 2 lengths impressively as well. Improved in a recent trial, so hoping to see that come to race day, and from barrier 7 should be able to get in a nice position as well. Let's take a look at selections for the final race of the day. I'm going to be tipping number 1 Handyman, from number 2 Dane Finn, number 5 0 to 60, and number 11 Profound Effect, which should run on nicely. Time now to take a look at the best bets for the card, and I'm going to be going an each way chance here. Race 3, number 8 Rosewood Hill, which should improve over the 1400 metres and get a nice trip from barrier 6. If the horse jumps out of the barriers this start, I think it'll be a very good each way chance. And the final race of the day as well, race 7, number 1 Handyman, drawn nicely, I think can certainly give us a nice side in the final race, and again at a reasonable price there as well. Make sure you do follow us on social media, as we always say, at Perth Racing, for the late mail and every information that you need on course on Twitter. You can also take a look at Instagram and follow us on Facebook, and visit perthracing.com.au for the event information and any information you may need regarding our races here in Perth and even the provincial tracks as well. I'm Adam McGrath. Hopefully found you a couple of winners. Look forward to your company again for another edition of Box Seat later on in the week.